Oh, 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 ow. Oh, I was just going really slowly filming a little black farm cat and I swerved into a load of nettles. What an idiot. So already this is a much better bike on train experience than I had going up to the fens last month, 2 months ago. Because there's no luggage for a start. Almost there. There's no luggage in the bike rack. Okay, there's one now, but there wasn't when I got here. So I'm just about to get off at Taunton, which is a town in Somerset, and cycle home. A little bit of gnarly, busy road to Taunton, but only for a couple of minutes, and then straight onto a cycle path. This cycle path in Taunton has literally taken me through the grounds of the college. I'm glad there are students around, it'd be a nightmare. I'm actually on the Year of Alo 1 through Taunton, which here is a winding labyrinth of cycle paths through the town, which is actually really nice. You have to keep your wits about you because it goes all over the place. But it's really nice because Taunton's quite a busy place to drive. And it's a Sunday, it's still really busy. So I think I'm just heading to the outskirts of Taunton now. I really don't know this town very well at all. But the train journey here was super easy. Cool, so I've been cycling for 17 minutes and 18 seconds. I'm already out of Taunton and into rural life. I can smell a lot of manure, so, you know, even if I couldn't see fields surrounding me, I would know I was in the sticks. It's really windy. I have got on the train 40 minutes, 90 kilometres away from where I live, and I just turned around and I'm cycling home, basically. That sort of it. It's a pretty hilly route. It's going to have about 1,000 metres of elevation in total, I think, in the finished route. And yeah, 90 kilometres, 88 kilometres, something like that. So it's the biggest ride I've done in a long time, and it's the biggest I've ever done by myself. It's going to be interesting. So the purpose of this ride is really to ride in a bit of a new place. Try out a linear ride, because I don't do many of those, because it's hard to do. Obviously you need to get to the start or get back from the beginning, and just get some more time in the saddle. Like, it's been a couple of months since I was cycle touring, and I've got this 2.5 day Tuscany ride in a few weeks. So really I just want to spend some more time in the saddle, and this should take me about 6 hours, I think. So that's my main reason for doing this. Mainly it just feels like a bit of an adventure to get the train somewhere and cycle back and see how it goes. I'm really excited for it. I'm 7 kilometres in and it's very flat so far, which is a lovely way to start, very unusual for me. So I'm just really excited to go riding, new place, by myself. Yeah. Okay, I'm in proper farm territory now. And these roads are just as terrible as Dartmoor's roads. And yes, I'm on road tyres again, which I'm having thoughts about. But I also put way more air in them this morning than I usually do. For riding on Dartmoor's roads, because I thought these might be a bit better, and I just wanted the speed, but now it's like actually quite uncomfortable like juddering over potholes. But we live and we learn. It's hard, you know. I think I should have probably just put my gravel tyres back on, but then I need a rear. I'm training on Zwift a bit at the moment. Can't have gravel tyres on my trainer because it makes this god-awful noise. So I really need another back wheel, but that's money. So I'm on road tyres. How cool is this? Oh my god, it's like a gorge. This is the first hill up to Langford Budville. First proper hill I've been actually on my lowest gears for. What a descent that was! Oh my god, that was amazing. There's really high hedges there, so I can't, you just get these snatches of views over the top of them. But that was a wicked descent, quite unexpected. Don't know why, since I climbed up the damn hill in the first place. But yeah, that was brilliant. That sign though that I showed you at the top, Somerset is a county in the UK, and it like has its own organisation that's like the Somerset Signpost Organisation or something. And when it comes to those like rural signposts, there's actually, they like take care of them and they revamp them and make them look really pretty like they used to when they were first built a long time ago. And they're just lovely, like you always know you're in Somerset, not even because you know you're in it, just because you see those signposts and they're really sweet. All gravel. One of the things I really love about linear rides, which I do so infrequently, is that you can't like dip out of them. Like, you can on a loop, you can just shorten the loop a lot of the time. But on linear rides, like you don't have to motivate yourself to keep going because you have to keep going. And I just love the concept of going home, like cycling home. Like that's your end destination, you know? Like you get to just like get off your bike outside your front door and then you're just home. I love that idea. I promise I'll try and show you some views at some point. It's just there's so many hedges, or now I'm just in a little wood. And they're sort of the hills, much like Dartmoor, where once you get to the top of the hill you immediately start going down again. There's no like flat bit at the top. There's no sort of viewpoint. And so obviously I can't film when I'm going downhill anyway because that would be dangerous. Yeah, I'll get there. I'll get you some views, I promise. Okay, this is really exciting because this is the beginning of the, I don't know what it's called, Great Western Canal. So I'm now going to cycle along a canal, the like Tiverton Canal, for some period of time, but it's going to be so beautiful. And I've done this before a long time ago. Now you can cycle this for miles, like I can't remember how far it is, maybe 15 miles or something. There's one part of it that I think is just on the outskirts of Tiverton, which I'm not going that far, but along this bit. But there is a kingfisher that lives there and it's just there all the time. You're pretty much guaranteed to see it. It's really cool. This is obviously not road bike territory either, it's really gravel tyre territory. But I have no regrets because it's so beautiful. First snack break of the trip. We're at 25 kilometres, an hour and 40 minutes. Yeah, and I've been hungry for a little while actually, so I should have stopped earlier, but it's really hard to stop when you're making good progress and I don't know, there's nowhere pretty to stop, and now I've got this place to stop at. And I've got a lovely bench. And it's so peaceful. It's so beautiful. And there are like bulrushes. Well, they're not actually, they're called marsh reeds or something, my mum told me. But anyway, bulrushes, weed, pondweed, canal weed, I don't know what it is, but it's very lovely. This is just a magical experience. I'd completely forgotten how wonderful this is. If you've got kids, by the way, it's the perfect place to bring them to cycle because it's flat. It goes on for as long as you want it to because you can just turn around. And it's just beautiful. And it's quite exciting, so there's quite a lot to see, like swans and ducks and stuff like that. So I'm just leaving the canal immediately before Stamford Peveril, but it carries on and it's all the way to Taunton. It's really, really lovely. And now I'm going more into the unknown. For me, Willand and Clumpton, which I've been to Clumpton before, but I've never ridden there. This also takes you to Tiverton Parkway Station, so you can even put your bikes on the train and then just cycle quite a short distance really from the station to the canal and then ride the canal top tips. It's also almost lunchtime. Which is even more exciting. Got to go over the railway line at the actual station as well. Okay, so I said earlier that the good thing about linear routes is that you can't, you know, bow out of them. You have to just carry on because it's linear route. But theoretically I could have, had the trains not been cancelled, loads of them are cancelled today, I could have just hopped on a train home. But I don't want to because I'm having the best time. I'm having such a good time. Really enjoying it. Cycling is hilarious. So like, just think about what I've done today. I've spent £21 on a train ticket to take me away from my house to another place 90 kilometers away, and then I just got off the train, turned around and started cycling back home again. You couldn't really explain that to another animal, could you? They'd be like, I'm sorry, you did what? Why? For fun? You're all going to be annoyed for locking my bike with such a terrible lock, but I've got a guard and it's a car show, so my bike ain't going to get stolen. Like a good cyclist, I brought my lights and I've had my rear light on this whole time, except now it's died on the most dangerous section. Why? God, that was an unpleasant experience. It wasn't that far, like a few miles of 50-mile-an-hour road. But the road surface, look at this mill. The road surface was absolutely abysmal, like so bad. Like, you know, it's 50-mile-an-hour tarmac road, but the road surface was terrible, so it was really bad to ride on. And then my rear light gave out. So that's a bit ridiculous. I fully charged it last night and it lasted for 3 hours. That is pants. That's not even fit for purpose. So hit me up with your rear light recommendations, please. Reliable rear lights. Because I need a new one. Such a great cafe though. It's like a petrol heads cafe, that's what it sells itself as. Just north of Clumpton. And there's an actual like car show there today and everything, and an aerial atom, broom, lots of other cars. I have no idea what they are. Yeah, so I felt like my bike was pretty safe, because not only are they all really friendly. I asked the steward about leaving my bike there because I've got a puny lock. He's like, oh, don't worry about it, I'll keep my eye on it. I was like, well, no one's going to steal my bike at a car show. Anyway, food is good. I had a vegan hash brown vegan sausage breakfast wrap with brown sauce, even though it was like 2 p.m, and flat white. It's pretty good. Might stop for some cake in Exeter if I've got time. Don't know, but cycling up hills, this is a quite hilly section now. Cycling up hills after quite stodgy food, probably not my best idea. That was also an interesting cafe stop, because I'm obviously riding this epic adventure by myself, and I do not make a habit of eating in cafes alone because I feel like an idiot, like I imagine a lot of people do. I don't really have that sense of what's the word, like okayness in the world to just be. I like being by myself, but eating by myself in public is just very weird in a cafe. Like, that feels strange. Oh, I've got to turn, I've got to turn. Okay, I turned. Yeah, eating by myself in a cafe is such an alien experience for me. I really don't like it. Like, I'm fine going to a coffee shop by myself, but this place was like full of families, like having full-on meals and like kids running around and everything, and I was just like sat there on my Todd. But as with anything, it's all in your head. And like, I mean, for a start, I stuck out like a sore thumb because I was the only cyclist in a car cafe. So I think the fact I was by myself probably didn't really make a difference. Who cares what anyone else thinks? But also, what are other people going to think? What do we think that people are going to think about us? Like, oh, look, there's that person eating by themselves. They must be ... what? Like, what is that judgment? I don't even know. So that's my lesson for today. Don't worry about eating by yourself. Who cares? I'd just like to clarify at this point, because I've just thought back to what I just said. When I said broom, I saw broom at the car show. I don't like categorising me as some blonde woman who doesn't know what cars are, and I've just said the word broom because that's the noise that cars make. No, no, no. Broom is a legit British TV character from the 90s. I'm gonna put a picture of him here because he's amazing. He was a tiny little classic car and he went on adventures. Ah, good times. So I'm cycling through the Exe Valley, more or less. Unfortunately, it's not very well paved. So the M5 motorway and the railway line actually go through the bottom of the valley, and there isn't a cycle path or a lane or anything like that that runs alongside them for very long. So you always have to go up the hills, either side of the valley, which makes this quite an undulating route. And like, there are short punchy hills, but there's nothing actually too sustained at all. And so far it's been brilliant. Oh, this is a downhill, unexpected. Oh, ow. Oh, I was just going really slowly filming a little black farm cat and I swerved into a load of nettles. What an idiot. When I left that cafe like an hour ago now, I went to the toilet just before I left and they were playing Highway to the Danger Zone, and now that's been in my head for the last hour. Highway to the Danger Zone. Da, 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 da. These are brambles, for anyone not in the know? Anyone not from the UK? I was actually clearing out brambles and an overzealous rose from my little garden yesterday, and so I've got lots of bramble and rose thorn punctures and scratches in my hands because I wasn't wearing gloves. Yeah, I know, I'm an idiot. Promised you a view. That's the other side of the Exe Valley. So I'm on the west side and that is the east side. And in between is exciting valley things like the M5 and the railway line. Oh, hello. That was a hill and a half. It wasn't on the brochure. Where am I? So I'm going to come in from the north of Exeter and I'm going to go straight through the middle of Exeter, along the River Exe and the canal, and then out through Shillingford and up Holden Hill. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. I haven't reached Exeter yet. And yeah, this is just the beginning of big hill country. If you're wondering why I got the train to Taunton and then cycled home rather than cycled to Taunton and got the train home, just seemed like a better idea to get the train portion of it out before. Like, as you saw, there were some trains that were cancelled because of staff shortages on the railways. See, if I'd cycled all the way out to Taunton and then my train home was cancelled, then I might have to wait around, get cold, all that jazz. I find it generally much better to get the most risky part of a journey out of the way first. And in this case, the train is really the weak point. I trust my legs more than I trust whether the trains are going to run or not. Although, to be fair, like today, I actually had an amazing experience on the train on my bike. The train guard was really helpful, showing me where to put my bike on as well, so that was really lovely. She was amazing. So, I don't know. Trains can be really good if they work really well, then they work really well, and if they don't, they don't. So, for a linear route, I'd always prefer to get that part of the journey out first. I've still got Danger Zone in my head. That was hours ago. I'm getting pretty tired now, I've got to admit. I've got 38 kilometres to go, I think. No, I've got 30 kilometres to go, just north of Exeter. And obviously I've got the biggest hill still to go. And it's a really long one. And it's very steep, it gets up to 16% gradient at one point. Got to get through Exeter first, that's pretty flat. But yeah, there are some short punchy hills here. And like, my legs are getting really tired going up them. So it's gonna be tough the rest of the way. So that was Exeter Quay, and it's an amazing place to stop for cake, but I just don't really have that much time anymore. This is Exeter's recycling plant. I think they just burn all the waste. Oh, the foothills of Holden. Oh, tough already. They're just this series of short, punchy hills, ups and downs. And you could say that these series of hills are a good warm-up for Holden. But after 73 kilometres, to be honest, they're just punishment. I just want to get up Holden. And the other side of Holden isn't flat either. It always has more hills than I remember, but it's mentally quite flat. This is the bad hill before Holden Hill. I don't think it's got a name, but it goes into Clapham village. And the descent actually into Clapham is worse than the uphill, because the uphill is really hard. I'm going at like 1 mile an hour, but the descent is bloody terrifying. And I can't film it because it's honestly white knuckle, hands jammed onto brakes kind of descent. It's really short, but it's practically vertical. And it's got a hairpin bend in it, so you can't see what's coming either. Whew. Okay team, this is it. This is the very beginning of Holden Hill. I've been cycling for 5 hours and 3 minutes. I've done 75 kilometres. And this is my nemesis. But I'm in a great mood, having a lovely time. I've never started walking this early up Holden Hill before. Sometimes I've cycled it the whole way, But I just need to change of position. I just need to walk for a moment to give my body a break. Yeah, okay, let's not pretend I'm gonna even attempt to ride this bit. Okay, steepest bit over. Still not quite at the top, but not far off now. I'm at the top. I'm at the top. That's me at the top. Good lord. Okay, so I've only got a couple of small hills. I mean, it's gonna feel painful, but smallish hills left. More than I always remember, but this is definitely the homeward run now. Only a few miles from home now, maybe 5 miles from home. Whoop whoop. I am so tired. I'm only a couple of kilometres from home, but I just keep looking down because I feel like I've got a flat tyre and I haven't, I'm just tired. And then I keep looking up and then I'm really dizzy. Oh. I am cycling up my actual road. Oh my god, I'm so tired. That was 90 kilometres. It was 1,072 metres of elevation gain. It was 6 hours and like 3 minutes or something. It was good. Like, it was actually more achievable than I thought it was going to be. I really didn't know how I was going to feel because I haven't cycled that far in quite a long time, like a couple of years, probably 3 years maybe. So I didn't know how I was going to feel, and also doing it by myself is not necessarily harder, but just different. So I didn't know how that was going to pan out. But actually, it was really fun, and I really enjoyed all of it. Even Holden Hill, which was really, really tricky, and I was really tired, but I was expecting to be tired, and I was expecting it to be tricky. So I think it's often when your expectations don't align with reality that stuff gets really difficult, but I knew it was going to be hard. It was at the end of a tough, it was at the end of a long day cycling, so it was always going to be difficult, and it's difficult anyway, even if I do it with fresh legs. So that was actually fine. There was no real challenging, there was no real, okay, I actually feel quite dizzy. I need to eat something. But basically, I had a great time. I highly recommend it. It was a great route as well. Getting the train to Taunton worked out really, really well because you can book a bike space. I would not recommend doing it without booking a bike space on the train because, like, that's just fast and loose. Like, that is crazy. So do that. You can cycle. Then the Taunton, you get out of Taunton really, really quickly, and then you can cycle in the Eurovelo one south or north. I guess I just don't know that one. But also getting the train to Tiverton is a really good idea because Tiverton train station is not in Tiverton town. It's quite far away, but it's really close to the Grand Western Canal, and that is just so lush. It's so, so lush. So look that up and do that. It's obviously traffic free and it's really, really beautiful. It's quite narrow in places and there are quite a lot of dog walkers, so be mindful. But when you're like the further away from the end points you are, I think the quieter it is really. Like, I didn't see that many people on it because I was quite far from Tiverton where most people will park. So it wasn't too busy, and you can access it in different places, but there aren't that many car parks, so there aren't that many people. Highly recommend that though. But yeah, this whole thing worked out really, really well, doing a linear cycle route. But thanks for hanging in with me on this one. Thanks for staying with me. I need to eat something and, I don't know, consume some kind of liquid that is going to make me feel better. So I will see you in the next one. Bye.